Hello. Following up from that first little brief video, the introduction, I wanted to continue with the information that was in the PowerPoint that we started. Again, the PowerPoint is located at uncw.edu/ed/edlab. If you go there on the left-hand side and click on the WCE Student tab, scroll down, you'll see the PowerPoint 1, the introduction class. Again, this is primarily designed for those 322, 340 people who are taking the lab in the elementary program, but I'm going through it because it just has the same kind of introductory material that I would use with any group who's going to be tutoring in the lab. On the previous video, we talked about the need for the lab and the point that you're going to be practicing some of the strategies that you learn in the 552 course with an actual student, and also a bit about the resources and some of the background information. In this one, we're going to talk about the resources in the lab and how you get started. What do you do before and during that first session? So I'm going to start on slide 13. It talks about the lab resources, and there are quite a few lab resources. There are so many things, there's no way to delineate them all. So we'll ask you to pick up that MapQuest that Ms. Hagler gave you last week and give yourself a little self-guided tour. Probably about 10-15 minutes to walk through and touch everything. You're more likely to use it if you touch it. When you first come in, and when your middle schooler first comes in, they may think that it's a more elementary place. Indeed, it was designed as an elementary tutoring space, but we've made some adjustments in there, and there are some really good places for the students to work in there, and also next door in the curriculum material center upstairs in the lounge areas on the second and third floors. There's some good places to work around the building for middle schoolers as well. Do that MapQuest, you'll find out more that way. I know you want to know what to do before you tutor. One of the first things that you'll do is probably want to check out the child's file. Come ask one of us. We keep it in a safe location. You may find, if the child has been there before, that you can look at the lesson plans that a previous tutor did with him or with her. Or if it's a new child, you'll just have an intake form, and you'll get most of the information that you need from working with the student that first day, maybe from the parent in the phone call as well. Speaking of, one of the things you're going to want to do is make a phone call to the parent. I'll talk about that in a few minutes, about what you need to do in that parent phone call. And then just prepare for your first session. Get out that purple first day form. That is your very lesson plan that you'll turn in before you do that first session. Remember, they're due by 12 o'clock day of tutoring. You're welcome to turn them in early, but at least 12 o'clock day of, so we'll know you're, 1, prepared, and 2, know which days and times to expect you in the afternoon. You may want to get an airport sign ready. You have middle schoolers, they may or may not be into that, but think of an airport sign where you're holding it up in front of you, saying, when they get there the first time, hey, I know who you are, you belong to me, I belong to you. Or you may just decide to tell them what color you're going to be wearing that day and meet them out front. Make sure you turn in your first day plans for approval. In the third video, I think I'm going to tell you more about what that first day lesson plan should look like. Phone call. When you make that first phone call to the parent, they see you as a teacher, not as a college student just getting used to this thing. So professional phone call. Make your phone call as soon as you get your placement. I know you'll be eager to do so anyway. Leave a message if you need to. Leave your telephone number twice if you need to. And then tell them about who you are if you actually get a chance to talk to them. Tell them about who you are. Ask about the student. Ask what they would like for you to work on during the time that you have them. And then take good notes. The third thing that you need to do is to set up your first tutoring time. Set up a time that you're going to meet that first time. Parents may ask about parking. You're welcome to tell them about the parking deck. And then pick a first date to start. Your first tutoring day, you'll meet the parents outside of the lab. Most people meet them at the front circle, or tell them that you'll meet them in the atrium. And then let them come in. If they haven't been there before, they might want to see the lab. And check in with our front desk to make sure that they have all their paperwork done. We ask that you make sure and wear your name tag. We want to make sure to know who you are, get to know you, and we know that you belong there if you've got a name tag on. You'll pick that up when you pick up your placement. We will call you as soon as we get one, but we'll have a paper copy of your placement on the counter with a name tag. That's the one we want you to wear. One of the things on that first day that's a detail that sometimes slips is to talk with your parent about when and where you're going to get that child back to them. Most parents like to do the drop-off and pick up in the circle after the first day, so that might be a good way to end your first session, is say, I'll see you at 6 o'clock out front, and I'll walk out there with them. We'll ask you to walk them out and walk them in every time, even though they're older kids, even if you wind up with a 9th grader who's still working at that middle school reading level. They may think they're old enough to go back and forth, but we have a thing about safety and security at the university, and we really want you to have that kiddo from the very beginning, meeting them at the car and then dropping them off at the car. Parents will appreciate that too. I think your next question is about what that first lesson plan looks like, so I'm going to pause this second video and then come back to you in just a moment and talk to you about the first day lesson plan, and I think that should get you pretty well ready. Thanks a lot.